Last Sunday's sermon was about a man named Aron Ralston, a climber, mountaineer, and avid adventurer. One day he was out hiking in a remote part of Utah and ended up falling into a canyon. His arm became wedged between the canyon wall and an 800-pound boulder, and he was stuck there for 127 hours before amputating his own arm and stumbling out of the canyon seeking help. It's quite an incredible story, and he went through a transformation during those 127 hours that he was there. From panic, as many of us would, to a sense of peace, realizing and being faced with his own mortality, to hope in a future for himself. Now, while many of us will never experience something as extreme as Ralston did, we all find ourselves in situations in our life where we feel stuck between a rock and a hard place, where we don't see an easy way out. And so my question for you and in the sermon this week was, when we find ourselves in those difficult situations, how do we find hope? And how do we summon the courage to do what we need to do? For Ralston, I think the answer was threefold. He found the strength within himself and drew from deep within. He also found the will to live through the will to love. In thinking about relationships and the people most important to him in his life, that buoyed him, thinking about the joy that they bring to him. And third, I think he made it through because he had a vision of himself in the future. He literally, in a state of being deprived of food and water, had a delusion of him in the future with one hand playing with a young boy, who he believed was his future son. It was these things that gave him hope and courage to withstand those 127 hours and to survive the experience. So I wonder for you, when are those times that you have found yourself stuck between a rock and a hard place? And when you have found yourself in those situations where there were no easy answers and you were tempted to give up, what is it that gave you hope? And what role did the relationships in your life, your family, your friends, or even this church community play in helping you cope with that difficult time?